Episode 2 of this series ended with our lunch at Tierra del Fuego National Park. We returned to our hotel for the rest of the day and just relaxed. That evening we talked about what to do the following day, which was not scheduled for any activities, and decided to book a 4-hour cruise on the Beagle Channel. It turned out to be a smart idea. The day, March 13th, began, for Donna at least, with a sunrise walkabout town and the waterfront, while Sherry and I had a wonderful view of the inside of our eyelids. Our cruise wouldn't be until afternoon, so after breakfast we decided to wander through the town, stop in a souvenir shop or two looking for lapel pins and something to use for a Christmas ornament, while Donna wanted a few postcards. None of us are big souvenir shoppers, but we do have our collections. And maybe stop in a museum. We're all fans of local museums. The History Museum was closed, but they did have an open area outside with a few exhibits. The fence surrounding the area had several murals depicting Ushuaia from the arrival of Europeans to the opening of the prison. The exhibits included the gravestone of Rebecca Ann Ince, wife of William Ince, one of the English missionaries. It's interesting to see the inscription on the stone calling the area Ushuaia, which is probably closer to the local tribe's dialect than Ushuaia. Out the back door of one of the gift shops was an area with several displays depicting Ushuaia from historical times. Sherry couldn't find a frog. A local restaurant declaring that Ushuaia has no salmon farms. Chile has introduced Chinook salmon to the area, causing many problems with the local ecology. Most of us are at least somewhat familiar with the Antarctic exploits of British explorers Scott and Shackleton, Norwegian Amundsen, and American Admiral Byrd. Along the waterfront were busts of many explorers from other nations, including several Argentinians to the frozen continent. Adrien de Gerlache de Gomery was a lieutenant of the Belgian Navy who organized and commanded the Belgian Antarctic expedition of 1897 to 99, the first scientific-based expedition that visited Antarctica. While in Antarctica, we would travel through the Gerlache Strait, one of the most beautiful parts of our entire visit. Sub-Lieutenant Jose Maria Sobral was the first Argentinian to winter in Antarctica in 1901. Lieutenant Julian Irizar in 1903 took part in the first Antarctic rescue, rescuing the Swedish expedition headed by Dr. Otto Nordenskjöld. The Argentine icebreaker we saw in Ushuaia was named for Admiral Irizar. It was time for our Beagle Channel cruise. Our guide on the tour boat was fluent in both Spanish and English.
La tierra que esta planta ya generó, porque no hay roca debajo, es todo tierra, así que debe tener unos 2000 años tranquilamente, y por eso tenemos que ser cuidadosos. Okay, now in English. So this is the green cushion that I told you about. These kind of plants, as well as moss and lichen, are what we call pioneers, because they start to grow in raw rock left after a period of glaciations. I will explain later. But they start to grow on top of the rock, just like this, and it starts to disintegrate the rock really, really slowly, picking up those pieces to create soil. When it dies because it doesn't have enough nutrients, just like that, that material also works to create soil like this, and it starts to accumulate it and gives the opportunity to other plants to grow. So that's why they're so important, because if it wasn't for these kind of plants, there won't be any around us. And actually from the side you can see how much soil this plant already created. So it must be like 2,000 years. Yes, that's why we have to take care of them.
Les Eclaireurs, meaning the Scouts, takes its name from the 5 islands guarding the approach to Ushuaia. It is the southernmost lighthouse in the world. Built in 1920, it stands 74 feet above sea level, emitting a white flash every 10 seconds. On our return to Ushuaia, we were following a pair of humpback whales. We were packed and had all our luggage in the hotel lobby, and we were checked out in time for our 10 a.m. pickup to bring our bags to be transferred to the Hondius. Boarding time would be at 4 p.m., so we had a few hours to kill. It was a drizzly, cold, nasty day, so something inside was in order. We decided on the museum in the old prison. It's actually 4 separate museums, each housed in a different wing of the prison. Individual cells have different displays. The Maritime Museum is all about, you guessed it, the maritime history of the region, from its discovery by Magellan to colonial times. Various works of art were displayed in the Art Museum, from paintings to carvings in ivory. The Antarctic Museum has exhibits on wildlife, whale and seal hunters, model ships, and stories about the explorers in the Antarctic Age of Discovery, such as the wreck of the icebound SS Antarctic, the Swedish expedition under Dr. Otto Nordenskjöld in 1902, and the rescue mission by then Lieutenant Irizar in the corvette Uruguay. The rain had turned to snow when we left the museum and walked to Tanta Anna's for lunch. Donna had some kind of quiche. Sherry had some kind of sandwich. And I had some kind of pizza. It was all delicious. By 4 o'clock, we had made our way down to the dock, to the waiting area where we would eventually board the ship. The Hondius. Once aboard and checked in, we were issued electronic ID tags, which we would use throughout the expedition every time we left by Zodiac or re-entered the ship, to be sure everyone was on board before the ship would move. We made our way to our cabin and found all our luggage and rental gear, and then proceeded to the lounge for our safety briefing before departing. We're making our way to the lifeboats to abandon ship, and we haven't even left the dock. Hopefully, this won't happen. We had to wait for the Viking Octantis to clear the way before we could cast off. Once underway, we again gathered in the lounge for hors d'oeuvres and a champagne toast to the voyage, and to introduce our crew.
Wales. I come from Luxembourg, a landlocked country in the middle of Europe. We don't have a coastline yet. But it's just a matter of time, because with climate change, once the Netherlands are gone, we will have a coastline.
The weather was clearing, and as we sailed east through the Beagle Channel, we enjoyed a beautiful sunset behind us. We had a good dinner, relaxed, and enjoyed our first evening aboard.